What it really did was it changed my perception of other politicians. When I first came here, I was on the blue team, and I was in our bunker, and everybody else was, in their bunkers. And being speaker, interacting with members of other parties on a different level, it really did teach me that, in a way, we are all the same. We're all coming to Ottawa because we believe that what we're doing or what we're fighting for will be better for Canada. And it made me appreciate on a personal level other parliamentarians of other parties. It helped me be kind of, step out of the partisan box a little bit and realize that, an NDP member of Parliament coming in from British Columbia is leaving his wife and kids alone for a week, and he's coming to Ottawa to do what he thinks is right. And although I disagree with what he's doing and think it'd be bad for Canada, I can respect on that level the sacrifice that he's making or she's making for their country. And it helped me have more of a personal relationship with members of other parties, just out of that respect, out of that kind of common bond of what we're all going through and why we're doing it. We're doing it, not to sound too melodramatic, but we are all doing it to make Canada better. And at the end of the day, the Canadian people decide which set of policies they want or which leaders they believe in. But I really do appreciate what every member of Parliament from every party is going through as they fight for what they believe in. It was extremely scary for the first little bit because we didn't know what was going on, and I started getting texts from people. I'd arrived on the precinct just after the attack had started, so I was taken to the command center for the security team on Parliament Hill, and in those first few minutes, the uncertainty, is one attacker, there's several attackers, the scale, is everybody safe, not knowing what was going on, and having seen some attacks in other places, there is often a second incident that comes along with it. So that was just extremely unsettling, and just knowing that now this was going to be part of our world going forward, it was really unsettling throughout the day. Think like, okay, this has happened now. It's going to lead to a whole bunch of changes that we've lost a little bit of something now. So the next day was unbelievable because we did decide that the House was going to sit, and that was a decision that the other party leaders and myself, we were all on the same page. So we were all going to show resolve, and regardless of what anybody might have had for concerns, we were going to sit the next day. And by then, the story of Kevin Vickers and his role in stopping the attack and keeping us all safe, that had gone out. So the next day we paraded. There's a speaker's parade where we marched from the speaker's office around the corridor into the chamber, and the Sergeant at Arms leads that parade, and that was Kevin Vickers. And so, I remember walking through the corridor, and there was just a line of people, and the appreciation that people had for him walking into the chamber, and just every member of Parliament, applauding him, thanking him. And it was just so moving. I remember, we don't normally turn the cameras on for the parade and for the prayer that we read out at the beginning of the day, but we did that day because we really wanted to showcase Parliament coming together and showing Canadians what it was like, in the aftermath. And the tributes that all the party leaders gave, Prime Minister Harper, and then Thomas Mulcair, and then Justin Trudeau, everybody kind of echoing the same sentiments that at times like this, drop the partisan differences and we all come together. And then in a very personal way, all the leaders kind of embraced, and people opposite side of the benches hugging each other because we had all gone through this same experience, this terrible, terrible thing that happened to all of us.